Hi everyone, and welcome to this Pilates class using the mini band. So mine is quite a heavy band, but you can go with whatever strength you have. That's what's nice about the band, is that you can go at your level. And I also have a blanket here because we're going to be doing some sideline work on our hip. We want to make sure that we're not hurting our hips, or you can just double up your mat. Okay, so we're going to get started by placing the band over our thighs, just above our knees. And then come to a 4-point kneeling position on your mat. Make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. And we're just going to wake up the spine quickly, doing some cat-cows. So you're going to inhale, look up, arching the back. Exhale, take your gaze towards your navel, flexing the spine. Let's do another 2. Inhaling, lengthening the spine. Exhale, take your gaze towards the navel, push the floor away. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Exhale, gaze towards your navel, scooping in the abs. And then come to a neutral spine again. What we're going to do now is we're going to tuck our toes. And we're going to come into some knee hovers. So we're going to connect to our deep core. On our exhale, we're going to lift our knees, hovering them off the mat. Inhale, lower. So make sure that your back is flat. Your neck is in line with your thoracic spine. Exhale, lift, deepening that core connection. Inhale, lower. Pushing the floor away with your hands, making sure that you're not sinking into your shoulders. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Let's do another 2. Last one. Hold it here. Now we're just going to abduct the legs. So we're going to open, close. Exhale as you open, and you'll feel as you exhale it open, you connect to that core even deeper. Perfect. Let's do another 4, 3, back straight, 2, last one, and then press back to a pike. Okay, take your hands a bit further forward because we're going to come down into a plank. Really push that chest through, opening up the chest, feeling a nice stretch in the shoulders. And then we're going to shift forward, coming into a nice strong plank. So I want you to make sure that your pelvis is slightly tucked underneath. You're drawing in the abs, squeezing the glutes, and then we're going to tap to the side, bring it back in, tap to the other side. Lift back up to your pike, and then lower back down to your plank. Find that strong plank, and then you tap. When you are tapping, I want you to try and keep your hips, your pelvis as stable as possible, so you're not moving around too much in the hips. Try and keep that stability, that control. Perfect. Exhale as you tap out. Okay, let's go for another 1. Press back to your pike. Come forward to your plank. Engage that core. Tap. Tap. Lower the knees down. Press back to a shell stretch. Whew, my shoulder just clicked. Okay, roll up to seated. We're going to come down into the middle of our mat now. Taking the band off. We're going to extend the legs long, flexing the feet. Bring the legs together. Take your band, put it around your wrists, just above your wrists. And then we're going to come into a half roll back. So we're going to exhale, rolling back into our C curve. Our feet are our anchor, so they're staying on the mat. And you're tucking under in the pelvis. So here we're going to pull apart that band, lift up to seated. Exhale, roll back, pull apart. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Flexing the feet, they are your anchor. Really try and pull that band apart as much as you can. Get the strength in the arms, in the shoulders. Coming back into your nice C curve, so we're working the abs as well. Waking them up. Okay, let's do another 2. Last one. Open, pull apart, come back up. Okay, now we're going to add in the obliques. So we're going to take our arms to the right hand side and lift our right leg, coming into our half roll back with a twist. Inhale, lift, lengthen, and then we're going to alternate sides. Lifting up that leg. Make sure you're not wobbling too much. If it's too much to lift your leg, then keep your leg down and just do the twisting motion. Otherwise, try and make sure that that leg stays in line with that hip. So you're not lifting and then twisting the leg as well. Exhale as you twist. Inhale, come back to center. Okay, perfect. Take that band in your hands, flex the feet, bring them together, get some resistance on that band, and then we're going to come into spine twist. So we're going to exhale, twist, 3 pulses, come back to center. Exhale, twist, come back to center. So we're alternating sides, and then we're going deeper with each pulse. But I want you to make sure that you are equaling it out on each side, so you're not going deeper on one side than you are on the other. Make sure your gaze follows. Okay, last one each side. Lengthen, twist. Okay, release your arms. Give me a nice shoulder roll just to release. Okay, perfect. We're going to bend our knees now and roll back down onto our backs. Okay, I'm going to take the band around our feet. Okay, make sure they're snug there. And then I want you to make sure that you're imprinting your spine to the mat. So we're going to be working in an imprint, which is going to help our back. We're not going to injure our back or put any strain on our lower back. And then we're lifting up to tabletop, flexing the feet, hands behind head. Exhale, lift up into your ab curl. Inhale, lower. Lift up, slide the ribs down towards the hips, and then lower back down. So I want you to also think about pulling those abs in towards your spine. So you're creating that intra-abdominal pressure, which is so important. That's why we say don't pop in the abs, rather engage that corset, that transverse abdominis. And that's going to work your core so much more. It's going to stabilize you. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Keep tension on the band. So we're also making sure that the legs are active. On our next one, we're going to lift, extend legs. Inhale, lower back in. You're doing so well, getting into the abs. Remember that tension on the band. I've got to really focus on it because I know I just lost it. But we want to work the legs as well. Get more bang for our buck. Keep that belly button in as you send the legs out, coming up into your ab curl. Okay, hold it out. Now we're going to abduct the legs. Pull that band apart with those feet. Flex those feet. Exhale as you pull it apart. And you'll see that your core will deepen as well. Your gaze is towards your thighs. You can drop your legs lower if you want more work. Otherwise, keep it higher. The important part is that you're focusing on that core engagement. Okay. Now we're going to bend the right leg in. Bring opposite elbow to knee. Send that right leg back out. Bend it in. We're working the same side. So exhale, twist and lift. Opposite rib to hip connection. So you're lifting and twisting. You're not only twisting, This is intense. Let's go for another 3 this side. Last 2. Last 1. Pull that band in. Extend it out. Other side. Left side this time. Pull that band. Lift and twist. Opposite rib hip connection. Internal, external obliques. Keep that tension on the band. Even as you extend that leg out. Last 2. Last 1. Hug it in. Okay. Just rest those abs. Bring that band above your knees, around your thighs. Lower the heels down. We're going to come into a counter stretch for the hip flexors. We're coming into some shoulder bridges. Make sure your feet are about hip distance apart. You're in a neutral spine. And then we're going to lift the hips towards the ceiling. Lower. So exhale, you lifting. Inhale, you lowering. Making sure that you're keeping that rib to hip connection. So you're sliding those ribs down towards your hips. Keeping that core engaged. When you lift up, you're not lifting up and popping in the abs. That core is tight. So this is a glute exercise, but we are also working the core. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Let's do another 1. Lift up, hold here. Abduct the legs. So open, close. But keep the tension on that band. Make sure you're not dropping in the hips as you open the legs. There's a tendency to open and drop the hips. Keep the hips up. Feel here. Feel those hips. Make sure they're stable. Make sure they're not moving. We're just moving the legs inside the hip joint. Let's do another 3, 2, 1. Okay, bring it back to about hip distance apart. What we're going to do now is we're going to put the weight in the left foot, and then we're going to extend the right leg. So the weight is in that left glute. Make sure the hips are square. You're going to exhale, abduct that leg. Inhale, come back to center. Make sure that those hips are square, level. You're not dropping one hip. So try and focus on that core connection that's stabilizing. Feel those hips. Perfect. Extend that leg. You're going to lower, lift. When you lower, I want you to flex your foot, point and lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Remember to keep the hands on the hips, making sure they are not rocking, they're staying still. You're not opening the hip out to the side as you drop the leg, and you're not losing that core connection, popping in the ribs by lowering your leg too low. Let's go for another 2. Last 1. Lower that leg back down. Press back up into your glute bridge. We're going to go into the other side now. So you're going to extend the left leg, abduct the leg, bring it back in. Exhale, open. Inhale, close. Core connection. Your core is working really hard here to stable. Your obliques are working hard here to stabilize. Okay. Let's go for another 3, 2. Feel those hips, they square. 1. Lift up, extend that leg. Flex, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Remember, don't drop the hip to the side. Opening up the hip. You want to keep that core connection, that stability. Perfect. Okay, let's go for another 3, 2, 1. Lift it up. Bring that leg down. Lift up in your glute bridge. Little pulses up. Finish it out. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Just releasing the glutes. And then we're going to come into a sideline position. We're going to take the band. Actually, no, we can leave it there. Let's leave it there, around our thighs. You can take your blanket now if you have one, or just double up your mat so you have more support for your hips. I'm going to try the blanket. And then you're going to extend your body long across the mat. Rest your head on your arm. Okay, make sure your body is strong here. You lengthened out and that you are stabilizing on one hip. Your hips are level and square. Put your hand on the mat for support. You're going to exhale, lift the top leg, inhale, lower. So you're creating that length through that leg. You're not lifting your leg too high that you're opening up your hip to the ceiling. Let's go for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift it up, circle forward, up and around. Keep that balance. Small circles here. Otherwise you will lose that balance, and keep the hips square. Okay, let's change the direction. Going backwards, up and around. Inhale for half, exhale for the other half of the circle. Stable body, you're just moving that femur inside that hip bone. Last one. Okay, we're going to lift that bottom leg, and then we're going to scissor switch. Bottom leg comes forward, top leg comes back, and then switch. Coming into our scissors. Inhale as you switch. Exhale as you pull that band apart. Okay, bring it back to center. Lower it down. On our next one, we're going to do a double leg lift. So we're going to exhale, lift and abduct that leg. Inhale, lower it all down. Long exhale. Getting into the obliques, into that side booty, into the inner thighs. Follow your breath. It's starting to burn, keeping that core in tight. That top hip is pulling away from your torso so that there's a gap underneath your waist and the mat. Last one, and then hold it up here, close that leg, open. Little abductions, keeping that bottom leg up. Whew, I can definitely feel it. Okay, last 3, we can do 3, 2, exhale, lift, 1, lower it all down. Tap up that hip. Okay. Whew. If you want to come in for a stretch, just release that band off the one leg, off that left leg. Bend the right leg. And then we're going to take the left leg over the right. Sit up, straight, lengthen the spine, and then twist towards the left, releasing that glute. Whew, that was intense sideline work. Take that band back over the thighs, and then we'll go straight into the next side. Okay. Put that blanket on your mat. I just have a baby blanket that I've folded. And then we're going to rest that hip, make sure the body is in one straight long line. Okay, hips are square and level. You're pushing that top hip away a little bit so that there's a gap underneath your waist and the mat. And then we're going to lift and lower that top leg, abducting that top leg. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Now you might feel it more on this side because we just kind of worked this side when we did the other side. So it might be a little bit harder, but that's okay. We're here to work. And depending on how heavy your band is, the harder you will work. That's what I love about doing the resistance band, is that you can choose your own level. You don't have to go easy, you can go harder, or you can go easier. Okay, lift it up, circle forward, up and around. Keep that hand on the floor for support. Try and keep the hips as still as possible. And you can do that by making your circle smaller. Let's go for another 2. Last one. Change the direction, circling backwards, up and around. Keeping that core engaged is really going to help you for stability. Those obliques are working hard. Let's go for another 2. 1. Lift that leg, bring that other leg to meet it. And then we're going to scissor switch. Inhale to switch. Exhale to pull that band apart. Okay. Few more here. Okay. Bring it all down, releasing, and then we're going to lift, abduct the top leg, lower it all down again. So exhale, lift and abduct, inhale, lower it all down. Okay, we're almost done with this. Then we can get into back work, and then we're going to finish the class out strong with some standing work. Let's do another 3, 2, 1. Hold it up, open, close that top leg. Whew. My glutes are on fire. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Last 3, 2, 1. Oh, lower it all down. It burned. Okay, you can put the towel aside. Release the band. Take the right leg over the left. Lifting up, lengthening, twisting towards the right. Just enjoy this nice twist of the spine and stretch of the glute. Okay. Release that. And then we're going to come down into a prone position on our tummies. Coming into some back work now. So lower down carefully. Take the band. We're going to put it behind our backs. And put it above our wrists. Okay. Create tension on the band. Lower the forehead down to the mat. On your inhale, you're going to lift, coming up into extension. Gaze is slightly forward to the front edge of your mat. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift, lifting the arms as well as you lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale for extension, pull that band. Inhale for extension, exhale for flexion. Perfect. Keep that belly button to the spine and lift up using those back muscles. So really focus on that mind to muscle connection. Okay, on your next one, I want you to lift up, create tension on the band, lifting those arms up. Try and pull apart that band. It's hard. Exhale, pull apart. Keeping that core engaged. Pull that band apart as much as you can. We're almost done getting into those shoulders, into the delts. And then we're going to hold it up. Pull apart that band, lift up, little pulses, little exhales as you lift up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Release the band. Press back to a shallow stretch. A nice counter stretch for the spine. Taking a nice big deep breath. Whew, we're working hard today. Okay. Roll up through the spine. Take the band to your upper arm, just above your elbows. You're going to come into some push-ups, and this band is actually going to assist us with our push-ups. So there's 2 variations that you can do. The one is going to be on your knees. So come into your half plank, and then you're going to inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Or you can come into a full plank, inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Go with whatever level you want to. Remember to keep that core engaged, slight tuck under of your pelvis. And if you're doing the full push-up, don't be afraid to come down on your knees if you get a bit tired. Let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press back up to a shell stretch. Releasing the shoulders. Take that band off your arms. And we're going to finish off class strong with some standing work now. Coming into some squats. We're going to do 1 leg at a time. Come up to standing. Put the band just above your ankles. Okay, make sure your feet are hip distance apart. Stand in the middle of your mat. You're going to inhale, lower to a squat. Exhale, lift. Perfect. Making sure that the back isn't arching as you lower down. You're pressing up through the heels. Engaging the glutes, but not pressing your hips forward. But you are feeling a squeeze as you lift up. Let's go for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift that right heel. Lower down pulses. Little pulses here. Really burning up those legs for today's class. Little exhales as you pulse up. And then we're going to lift up, abduct that leg, bring it back in, lower down into your squat. What I want you to make sure here is that your hips are staying level. So you're going to abduct that leg, but you're not moving one hip up. Lower back down. Try and keep that stability. Core engage, belly button into spine. That supporting leg is also working hard. Let's go for another 3, 2, 1. Hold it out, little pulses out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Shake it out. And we're going to go into the other side. Starting with our squats. Lowering and lifting. Remember, tension on the glutes. Pressing through those heels. Belly button to spine. We're almost done with class. And then we can come for a nice stretch. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift that left heel. And then we're going to lower down pulses. Little pulses here. Firing up the glutes, up the legs. Little exhales. Belly button to spine. Feel that core engage. You're going to lift up. Abduct that leg. Lower down. Remember to keep the hips as level as you can. Not piking one hip up as you abduct that leg. Rather go with a smaller range and keep good form. Let's go for another 3. Last 2. Last 1. Okay, hold it out. Little abductions, little pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Shake up the legs. Take the band off, away from you, far away from you. We're going to roll down vertebra by vertebra. Hands to the floor. Just move from side to side. Calming the breath down. Walk out to a pike. Pedal at the heels. Extend that right leg back behind you. Bring it in between the hands. Lower that back knee. Untuck the toe. Lift up into your lunge. Create length in the spine. And then lower down. Opening up that hip flexor. Perfect. Take your hands down. Come down into pigeon pose. So heel toe, that foot out. Make sure your hips are level. Create length and then fold over. Stretching up the glute. Calming the nervous system down. If you want, you can lift up, bend that other leg, circle that arm around, bring that leg in, try and keep the hips square, stretching out the quad. So we work the quads. Okay, release that, press back to your pike. Pedal out the heels, extend the left leg, bring it in through between the hands. Coming into your lunge, lower the back knee and tuck the toes. Lift up into your lunge, create length and lower down, opening up the hip. It's a very good stretch for your hip flexors. Take the hands down, heel toe, the foot out, coming into pigeon. Make sure the hips are level. Lift up, lengthen, and then fold over. Nice big deep breath here. Lift up, bend that other leg, draw it in, stretching out the quad. Release that, come down onto your glute, extend the right leg, lift up and over, coming into lateral flexion. Then bring the right leg in, send the left leg out, flex the foot, lift up and over. Nice stretch for the spine, for the side waist as well. Since we work the obliques, release that. And that's it for today's class, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this one with the mini band. If you have, please let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see more like these. And give this video a like, subscribe down below, as it really supports my channel and I really appreciate it. I hope to see you in the next class. Bye, guys.